the Baseball Hall of Fame, the Football Hall of Fame, basketball too, and all across this country there are sports museums.
But there has never been an exhibit like the one now at Radcliffe College. It's called The Sporting Woman, Insights from Her Past. Reporter Kirsten Conover says that it's a valuable or visual tribute to women in sports, all the way from times of antiquity up to 1930. An exhibit that enlivens athletes' image is the title of the article. And exhibit curator Sally Fox now joins us to talk about it. First of all, good to have you here, and congratulations on putting together this beautiful exhibit. And I understand it took you several years of research.
Oh yes, because women, first of all, women generally are not categorized in various kinds of collections as such. So you have to literally look at the pictures to find them. And then if you want to try to find something like the sporting woman all through history, you have to search even more. And so I haunt museums and antique fairs and
why'd you cut it off at 1930? Because today we know that women in sports are everywhere.
Well, precisely for that reason, because I wanted to document what's not been documented. To me, anything after 1930 became too contemporary. And people don't realize how much of a very rich sporting history women had. And I'm not talking about champions now. I'm talking about the lives of ordinary women that include
That's
sports.
What struck me in reading the article and looking at the book was that, wow, I didn't know that sports played such an important role with, as you say, ordinary women.
Well, it depended also what class you came from, how much money and leisure time you had. But the fact is that women did it from all classes, and both Western and non-Western women. Not all women did it, but then not all men do sports either. So
we're looking at pictures too as we're talking from your exhibit. Now these are posters, postcards, fine artworks. It runs the gamut.
It's a combination of fine art and what we call ephemera. And ephemera are materials like postcards and posters and pamphlet covers and so forth that are meant to be printed and distributed and thrown away in many cases. But in fact, this ephemera is a wonderful, wonderful collection to document social history. And now more and more sociologists are using ephemera for that purpose.
Seems also, as we look at some of these pictures, that anytime anything new came down the pike, whether it was ballooning or bicycling, women were always there to try out.
That's what came out as a result of the exhibit, because to my knowledge, this has not been really thought about too much. When you look at the pictures, and this came about from looking at a picture of women in a motorcycle race with long skirts in 1890, I was wondering, my God, look what they're doing, you know, and then I thought they shouldn't be doing it, and then I heard myself saying, what do you mean they shouldn't be doing that? And so I started looking at all the sports that were based on new inventions, starting with the hot air balloon and the bicycle and the motorcycle, automobile, airplane, motorboat, and so forth. And I had pictures of women doing them all. And so it was clear that when there was a new invention that had no history attached to it, saying that they should or they shouldn't do it, the women did it right away, and only later the social restrictions were put on. And actually the whole history of women in sports is one of restrictions, in terms of whether it was clothing or whether it was the playing field or whether it was social behavior. But women did it in spite of all these social restrictions and physical restrictions.
Clearly then this is breaking down stereotypes. Have people commented to you that in fact is how they're reacting to the exhibit?
Yes, oh yes. And it's clear that what's happening, that sports, which is so associated with the masculine world, and is now an area that is helping to sort of blur the worlds of men and women, and to show that in fact women's lives were much richer and fuller than people think they were.
This is a touring exhibit, is that right?
Yes, it is. It's going to tour to a number of colleges and universities in the New England area after it finishes Radcliffe. Clearly for several years we're talking about making a duplicate exhibit to go out to the West Coast, and there's just so much interest in it now. It's touched a nerve, it's clear.
Well, Sally, thanks for coming by and sharing it with us.
Thank you very much.
It seems that often when couples divorce, there's conjecture over who won, and sometimes it can appear that the husband or the wife came out better. But one thing's clear, children are always the losers. Well, in England, lawmakers are trying to change that, putting children first, the new English precedent. That's the subject of Marilyn Gardner's column, and she now joins us to talk about it. What's